Hi and welcome to another Pizza Ramblings. So today's video is all around dough temperature. So I've got this little piece of kit, a little sensor that's going to sit there and monitor the room temperature over a period of 24 hours. It's going to feed back what the average temperature of the room is, and therefore we can then use that setting in the pizza app to select the right amount of yeast. It's going to be an interesting little video. Enjoy. Okay, so this is the bit of tech I'm talking about. It's a temperature and humidity smart sensor. It comes with a probe, so we can plug this into the side of the box and essentially insert this into dough or whatever else you want to test. This has a built-in humidity and temperature sensor as well. It runs off a AAA battery. It's Bluetooth. It works with Apple and Android devices. And what it does out of the box is it takes a temperature reading every single minute and stores it in an internal log. And then what you can do then is use the app on your device to query this box via Bluetooth, and it returns back all the samples that it's taken over whatever duration that you've done it over. So the idea, what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to place this in the spot where I normally let my dough proof. I'm going to leave it for 24 hours and I'm going to monitor the temperature of the room, how it drops overnight, and so on and so forth. This will then give me an average reading across that time window, and that average reading is what I'm going to use in the pizza app to make the dough. Okay, so this is the app on the iPad before I reset the chart and the logs that this thing's got. It will actually take your humidity as well, which is quite good. But essentially, this is what it's done. As you can see, it's plotted, and you can put your finger at any point, and it tells you by the minute what it's at. And I can't show you where my finger's pointing on this thing, but on the left-hand side at the top, it tells you the average temperature, and that's what I'm going to use, and that's across the day, the average temperature across the day. Okay, so I'm about to reset the data that's in the sensor. This will give me then a fresh start, so it'll run overnight in the place where I normally prove my dough, and then the same time tomorrow I'll go back to it and we'll have a look at how the temperature's adjusted over the night through the day, and we'll be able to work out what the average temperature has been, and then we can take it from there. So let's start by bobbing into here. It's loading this data from the sensor, so let's clear the sensor out. That's that. We'll come back to it tomorrow. Okay, so this is the readings that I've taken over the 24 hours. So you can see here where I started at 20 degrees. Time's moved along, and at 5 a.m. this morning I was at 15 degrees. It dropped to 14.6 degrees, and then there's been a gradual increase up to 21, and as you can see the average temperature is 18.97, so I'm going to just go at 18 for good measure, I think, and I'll just accommodate for any other fluctuations. Okay, so the other day when I last made some dough, when I got the new mixer, I set the room temperature in Pizza app to be at 20.5 degrees. And that is clearly the wrong temperature that we need to put in. We need to put in 18 degrees because that is the average that the room temperature goes to across that time span of 24 hours. So as we can see here at this particular point, the amount of yeast that the app is saying is 0.33 grams. If I reduce this down to 18 degrees, we actually need 0.56 grams of yeast. And that's quite a bit more, I think. So that's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to make some dough up with these particular settings. So we will use 0.56 grams of yeast. And whilst the dough is also in bulk proving, I will put the temperature probe into the center of the dough whilst it's bulk, and we'll leave that overnight, and we'll see what temperature the core of the dough actually gets to this time. Okay, so at this point the dough has been bulk fermenting on the table in the living room overnight. according to this, the internal dough temperature at the moment is 18 degrees. The room says it's 21, but the dough is 18. So what we're going to do now is get in the data from the dough whilst it's been proving overnight. So this is the temperature from inside the core of the dough ball. As you can see, it's from 12 o'clock at night, so I didn't get there going up to it because it's only going to stay pretty flat. It's overnight where the temperature is going to fluctuate. So as you can see, we're milling at around about 22 degrees thereabouts, and there's a slow decline right the way down to roughly 8:55, I think that is, and it basically stays at around about 18 degrees. And even though right now it's 1:45 in the afternoon, the dough has taken quite a bit of time to recover. It's slowly increasing in temperature, but it just goes to show that it will affect your proving times. Okay, so before I ball up, this is what we've got. There's the little sensor, the probe in the center of the dough, and it has grown significantly overnight and is looking really quite nice. It does look a little bit more puffed up than it usually is. That's potentially down to the extra yeast, I guess. But yeah, that's looking pretty good. So I'm going to ball this up, and then we'll cook some pizza later on, see what the pizza comes out like. Okay, let's have a go at this dough, which is based on the 18 degrees room temperature. So it's had a 24 hours based on 18 degrees being the average room temperature. It feels elasticy for some reason, don't know why. Burnt from the last pizza. Okay. It's very elasticy. I don't know whether it's because it's a bit cold. It does feel slightly cool, the dough. It's a problem with cooking at this time of year outside, I guess. Oops. Very elastic, which is a bit unusual for new roller. I can only put it down to the temperature, I think. It just doesn't seem to want to get any bigger. Okay, let's get some sauce on. Cheese. And we're going for a bit of a different pizza tonight. It's chicken tikka. Not very Italian, but there you go. Okay. I'll stretch this out a little bit. It doesn't half retract. Yeah, it's retracting all the time. It's just not relaxed the dough today for some reason. More chicken here and there. And then we've got some dollops of supermarket chicken tikka sandwich filler, just to give it a bit of a try. Okay, I'll try and give it a bit of a final stretch. sauce all over the edge of that bit now. Okay, turn this down a little bit. And she goes. She's 3. Black spots, sign of cold dough. Crack it up a little bit now. It's crusted up quite nice.
Whoa.
That looks amazing, doesn't it? That's done. Retracted again like Billio. But it looks nice. It's got a belting size crust on it, that. Ouch. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it's come out well, very well. It's a nice texture to it. I'm not going to sample it because it's only small. It's Natasha's tea. But that does, you want to sample it. Okay, I'll cut you a little nudge off. Ow, it's red up. Wow, look at that. Yeah, it's turned out well. There you go.
Thank you.
So she's not only the chief dough maker, chief videoer, but she's also the chief tester. Is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Looks a little overdone in places underneath, but it's not so bad. But yeah, quite impressed with that. That's not bad. Mixer's done it again, I think, that and the bit of extra yeast. Okay, so thanks for watching, and see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.